The story of Bahiya Daruchiya. What if just a few words could completely transform your life? Could a person who had spent years living under a false belief attain the highest spiritual realization after hearing only a brief teaching from the Buddha? Today's story tells the extraordinary journey of Bahiya Daruchiya, a man who was mistaken for a holy saint, believed the illusion himself, and then discovered the truth in the most unexpected way. It's a story of humility, urgency, wisdom, and the incredible power of the Buddha's Dhamma. You will witness a miraculous journey across 120 yojanas in a single night. A profound encounter with the Buddha on an arm's round, and a teaching so short that it can be spoken in less than a minute, yet so deep that it leads directly to headship. Why did the Buddha declare Bahiya to be the foremost disciple in the spirit of attaining enlightenment? And what timeless lesson does this remarkable story hold for us today? Stay with us until the end to discover why the Buddha said that a single path truly understood is far more valuable than 1,000 empty words. Now, let's begin the inspiring story of Bahiya Daruchiya. A group of merchants went out to sea in a boat. Their boat was wrecked at sea, and all except one died. The only survivor got hold of a plank and eventually came to land at the port of Sobaraka. As he was naked, he tied the plank to his body, got hold of a bowl, and sat in a place where people could see him. Passers-by gave him rice and gruel. Some took him for an arhat and talked in praise of him. Some brought clothes for him to wear, but he refused, fearing that by wearing clothes, people would give less to him. Besides, because some said that he was an arhat, he mistakenly came to think that he really was one. Thus, because he was a man of wrong views, who was wearing a piece of wood as his clothing, he came to be known as Bahiya Daruchiya. At about this time, Myanmar, who had been his friend in one of his previous existences, saw him going astray and felt that it was his duty to put Bahiya on the right path. So Myanmar came to him in the night and said to him, Bahiya, you are not an arhat yet. And what's more, you don't have the qualities that make one an arhat. Bahiya looked up at Myanmar and said, yes, I must admit that I am not an arhat, as you have said. I now realize that I have done a great wrong. But is there anyone else in this world now who is an arhat? Mahabhima then told him that there lived in Savati Gautama Buddha, an arhat, who was perfectly self-enlightened. Bahiya, realizing the enormity of his guilt, felt very much distracted and ran all the way to Saudi. Mahabhima helped him by his supernormal power, so that the whole stretch of 120 yojanas was covered in one night. Bahiya found the Buddha going on an arm's round with other bhikkhus and respectfully followed him. He pleaded with the Buddha to teach him the Dhamma. But the Buddha replied that since they were on an arm's round, it was not yet time for a religious discourse. And again, Bahiya pleaded, Venerable son, one cannot know the danger to your life or to my life. So please talk to me about the Dhamma. Buddha knew that Bahiya had made a journey of 120 yojanas in one night, and also that he was overwhelmed with joy at seeing the Buddha. That was why the Buddha did not want to talk about the Dhamma immediately, but wanted him to calm down to enable him to take in the Dhamma properly. Still, Bahiya persistently pleaded. So while standing on the road, the Buddha said to Bahiya, Bahiya, when you see an object, be conscious of just the visible object. When you hear sounds, be conscious of just the sound. When you smell or taste or touch something, be conscious of just the smell, the taste or the touch. And when you think of everything, be conscious of just the mind object. After hearing the above discourse, Bahiya attained arhatship, and he asked permission for the Buddha to join the order. The Buddha told him to get the robes, the bowl, and other requisites of a bhikkhu. On his way to get them, he was bored to death by a cow, which was in fact an ogress in the likeness of a cow. When the Buddha and the other bhikkhus came out, after having had their meal, they found Bahiya lying dead on a rubbish heap. As instructed the Buddha, the bhikkhus cremated the body of Bahiya and had his bones enshrined in a stupa. Back at the Jetavana monastery, the Buddha told the bhikkhus that Bahiya had realized Nibbana. He also told them that as far as speech was concerned in attaining mega insight, Bahiya was the fastest, the best. The bhikkhus was puzzled by the statement made by the Buddha, and they asked him why and when Bahiya became an arhat. To this, the Buddha replied, Bahiya attained arhatship while he listened to my instructions given to him on the road when we were on the alms round. The bhikkhus wondered how one could attain arhatship after listening to just a few sentences of the Dhamma. So the Buddha told them that the number of words or length of speech did not matter if it was beneficial to someone. Then Buddha spoke in verses as follows: better than 1,000 verses that are senseless and unconnected with the realization of Nibbana is a single verse. If on hearing it, one is calmed. The story of Bahiya Daruchiya offers timeless lessons that remains deeply relevant today. First, never mistake praise for true accomplishment. Bahiya was admired by many and was even believed to be an arhat. Eventually, he believed it himself. This reminds us that popularity, reputation, and public admiration are not reliable measures of genuine wisdom or spiritual attainment. True greatness is measured by inner purification, not by outward appearance or the absence of others. Second, humility opens the door to wisdom. When Mahabhyama told Bahiya that he was not an arhat, he did not become angry or defensive. Instead, he honestly admitted his mistake and immediately shouted the truth. His willingness to accept the correction became the turning point of his life. That never delayed to the practice of the Dhamma. Bahiya understood that life is uncertain. That's why he earnestly requested the Buddha to teach him immediately, saying that neither of them could know what might happen before another opportunity arose. His urgency reminds us not to postpone wholesome actions, meditation, or the cultivation of wisdom until tomorrow. Fourth, liberation depends on understanding, not on the length of teaching. Bahiya attained arhatship after hearing only a few sentences from the Buddha, because his mind was fully prepared to receive the truth. The effectiveness of Dhamma lies not in the number of words, but in the depth of understanding. Fifth, mindfulness is the gateway to freedom. The Buddha instructed Bahiya to know seeing as merely seeing, hearing as merely hearing, and thinking as merely thinking. When experience is observed without judgment, craving, or self-identification, the mind becomes liberated. Finally, the Buddha's teaching reminds us that quality is far more valuable than quantity. 1,000 beautiful ones are of a little value if they don't transform the heart. Yet a single teaching, deeply understood and sincerely practiced, can lead to peace, wisdom, and even the realization of nirvana. May the inspiration story of Bahiya Daruchiya encourage us to remain humble, seek the truth with sincerity, practice mindfulness in every moment, and never waste the precious opportunity of encountering the Buddha's Dhamma. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and would like to hear more inspiring Buddhist stories and teachings, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. May all beings be happy, peaceful, and free from all suffering.